Did you know only the iPhone 15 Pro and Pro Max have support for the new Apple Intelligence or AI? The black titanium iPhone 15 Pro Max you know and love. What's it like 9 months later in 2024? Holding it always feels the best. Brushed black titanium with the matte fingerprint resistant glass behind. Yeah, it's a joy to hold and feel actually. And to game on, yeah, we'll be playing some Call of Duty Mobile. Stay tuned for that. It's all grade 5 titanium. Yeah, it's harder and more brittle than the grade 2 titanium used on the S24 Ultra. So if you exert too much pressure on it, it's gonna crack. Yeah, and it's IP68 water and dust resistant for up to 6 meters in 30 minutes. The display is, well, how it's always been for the past few years. It's 460 pixels per inch, 1290 by 2796. Yeah, it's LTPO. Super Retina XDR as Apple calls it. It can go from 1 to 120 Hz. It has HDR10 support, Dolby Vision, 1000 nits of SDR and 1600 nits HDR, then 2000 nits peak brightness. We are in bright sunlight outdoors. So the display is very bright. Yeah, you have nothing to worry about. Yeah, I know we have phones that go all the way to 4000 nits, many Android phones like that, but trust me, probably 4000 nits on a single pixel. Apple is very good at keeping consistency throughout the whole display and all the pixels. So I'll say overall, even with the Dolby Vision support and HDR handling, Apple displays are still quite on top. Besides, it also has a ceramic shield. Yeah, that makes the display much more durable than the Samsung's display, for instance. When you look at the top, we have a speaker, we have the Face ID module. We also have another speaker at the bottom. Yeah, and when you want to hear how the speakers sound, well,
clear night underneath all the stars. I don't want no concrete jungles, no suburbia. I just want somewhere that the blue skies are. So come with me to a place so far, where the palm trees dance and sway. So run with me. If we leave right now, we might make it in time. The sunset is waving. So if I lay there, will you come?
yeah, nothing much to say there. Apple speakers have always been top-notch, especially on the Pro and Pro Maxes for the past, how many years? I can't even keep count of them. Dynamic, Island, yeah, nothing much. We've talked about that enough on the 14 Pros and 14 Pro Maxes. What's under the hood of this device? We have the Apple A17 Pro chipset with 3 nanometers. It's 6 cores at 3.78 GHz. Yeah, we also have the new 6-core GPU with like ray tracing and, you know, console level graphics support and all that stuff Apple claims to have. Yeah, you can play Resident Evil with this device, it's top notch. But for me, I'll be playing Call of Duty. Yeah, that game is 10 times better than Resident Evil on phone, that is. For battery, we have 4441 milliampere hours. Yeah, unofficial rating. Apple doesn't really tell you how much exactly, but when you tear down the device, you get to see the exact numbers. Yeah, it's 27 watts wired charging, 15 watts wireless, 15 watts, you know, QI2 and MagSafe charging. It supports MagSafe, yeah. And after all this time, we still have 100% battery health on this device. I'll tell you the secrets to keeping good battery health in a moment. The first thing you need to know is you need to limit the charging on the 15 series, yeah, because you have that option. It doesn't really apply to the other iPhones because you don't really have the option, so stay tuned for the other three. You know, you can limit the charging on iOS 18 between 80, 85, 90, 95%. Yeah, it's more flexible. Also, charge it without a case to reduce the amount of heat generated within the device during charging. Yeah, that will help a lot. Also, try charging it once a day. Yeah, you don't want to be overcharging it. That's going to accelerate the charging and discharge cycles of the device, leading to lower battery health. And finally, do not charge and use the device at the same time. Those of you that charge your phones and game, why do you do that? That's going to like kill the battery faster than you can imagine. Yeah, so when you see your battery health going down, you should know why. Yeah, battery health, like I always say, it doesn't really count the way it should. It just has a mind of its own, but at least play your own parts. Yeah, that's why I say some people have like 80 something% battery health and still get good battery life. Yeah, I don't think your battery health really determines how good your phone will last. Yeah, for instance, my iPhone with 83% battery health still lasts as well as some iPhone 15 Pro Maxes with 95 to 100% battery health. It's all about the actual state of the battery, the lithium itself, not just numbers on the display. The phone supports up to max graphics when you talk about Call of Duty, yeah, and it supports up to medium at 120 frames per second. Yeah, I don't know if the ray tracing does much right now, but it's supposed to help in games that actually have inbuilt ray tracing. That's like games where the developers like implemented ray tracing functions. Yeah, that will come in handy. The ray tracing on the A17 Pro's GPU. When I launched Call of Duty Mobile, the phone warmed up quite a bit. In fact, during the whole test, it warmed up, so it warms up like a normal phone. Yeah, no phone is immune to warming up. It's a normal thing. It happens when the chipset is quite hot. What we talk about is how the phone cools itself down and manages that heat. Not out of the ordinary though. I should tell you, I actually kick ass in Call of Duty Mobile, although sometimes I get my ass kicked. So that's all. Let me know what you think about the iPhone 15 Pro Max. If you're going to get one very soon, or if you're going to wait for the iPhone 16 series that will come out in September. Actually, from my perspective, I would say since the iPhone 15 Pro and Pro Max supports, Apple's intelligence, you should just wait for the 16 Pro and Pro Max to come out, which will reduce the price of the 15 Pro and Pro Max reasonable enough, and then you can just get the 15 Pro or 15 Pro Max. That's more what I'll do.